Good morning, my friends. Hope you are doing well. It's a new month, new week, new Monday, new opportunities, right? So just give me a second to see if the everything is working fine. I just need to re-upload here. Sorry, re-upload to test here if it's working, and we will start. I hope you had. Doing well. It's a new. Yeah, sounds good. Let me just keep it open for so I see the questions, right? So let's go, right? So here is. I'm gonna start here today. Actually, in here, right? So. Here is actually the three trades which I have entered on the Friday, right? Right now, good morning, my friend. Right now, I'm seeing it's a little bit mistake because they're moving against me, right? Which would be fine, right? I don't mind that the price is going kind of right into the level, right? And that's fine, right? It's happening. Let me show you in here, right? Actually, in the charts in here, right? It's fine. However, I don't like that the market simply has opened and it's going straight up, right? It's happening also on the USD, Euro USD, right? Going opened and going straight up, right? And also the last one which I had was a DXY, right? Also, right? You have open and straight down, right? If there will be some kind of like a consolidation or the small move, right? So what I did, I basically closed all of these trades, right? So here is a GBP. I closed it in here, right? With a decent loss. Here is a Euro also closed in here with a decent loss, right? And here is a dollar index, right? Closing also in here, right? So I'm out of all of these trades, and I will show you why I think I was wrong in here, right? So first of all, the good morning, Adrian. Good morning, Riyad. So first of all, first mistake was opening the trades on the end of the month, right? Even though I used the smaller position, and I'm sorry if you're hearing the voice from outside, you can't make this up. Since I started the streams, there is right now like a three big caterpillars. They digging and doing something below my flat, right? Crazy. Anyway, so the mistake was the opening the trades on the end of the month, right? I should wait and keep it, right? However, I noted in here for myself, right? End of the month can be high volatility, blah, blah, blah. There is this and that, right? So anyway, accepting the loss, that's fine, right? Even though I was aware a little bit that mistakes I did, but I need to put this into my journal. As I'm speaking right now about a journal, if you don't use it, if you're using TradingView, I just installed the TradingView app, right, into my Mac, and it's quite nice because anytime I take a screenshot, it opens a window like that, and I can keep it for the later, right? So it's easier to then put it into your journal, so you don't lose the screenshots of the trades, and it's quite good, right? So let's go to check what's actually wrong in here, and I have opened this and I started to do the new analysis in here, right? So let's go dollar index, right? And okay, so did it save? Yeah, okay, here is euro. Okay, so I didn't do the dollar index, right? So I'm going to do dollar index right now in here, right? And look, basically what is simply wrong in my opinion was to yes, we've been able to trade a short-term longs, right? But still, after this candle has closed in here, what's happening, right? If you remember, based on the tracking the liquidity, right, we can see this candle closing below this one, right? So where's the liquidity? Liquidity is still down here, right? Then we had this inside candle which has made quite significant pullback, the pullback which was big enough, right? Let me use this one, the pullback which was big enough right, in here, which made 50%, right? And I'm starting to see this pattern quite often, right? So 50% pullback is enough for a continuation lower, right? So we can be looking to the counter trend trades as we've been looking in here for this weekly CLS range, right? And we have played this model 1 in here, right? But then the model number 2 is not valid. Why? Because on the higher time frame, right? Because on the higher time frame, the liquidity is lower and the 50% has happened. So it's rebalanced, right? So we should not be looking for the model number 2 on this one, right? And that's actually what was this my trade in here on the dollar index, right? Because we had the model number 1, right, in here. And then also the transition liquidity was reached. And then we're looking here for the model number 2, right? But as this higher time frame monthly was rebalanced, then it's low probability, because from here they had the power to bring it lower down here, right? So I don't think we're gonna get this model number 2 here, and I think that we most likely going lower, right? So what does it mean right now? It means I was wrong, right? But I learned the lesson, right? So that's something which I can put into the journal and adopt it for the next time, right? So right now we don't need this range, right? So what we're gonna do? We have highlighted this. Okay, let me start over, right? So we have this low in here, right? Liquidity, right? So what we're gonna do? We have the weekly range in here, right? Another weekly range, right? So here we actually also played last week. We actually also played the daily trade, right? But anyway, what we're gonna do right now, as the market is opening and is sharply dropping lower, and we think that the price will go lower down here, right? We obviously not gonna short the low in here, right? That would be probably a mistake, right? So what can happen is that price could break lower down here, right? And then we could be watching for this our Monday range, which is forming right now, maybe the Friday's range, right? Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Gokhan. Here, this close and this open, right? What's this? This is fair value gap, right? It's also the level, right? So also, if we look how the levels how the levels has been respected in here, right? So look, you have the break of here, right? Where this break came from? It came from this candle, right? This up candle or the block, right? Then you have another low which was broken, right? This, right? Where did it came from? From here, right? From this candle, right? Now you don't see it clearly here. Sorry, I'm on 2 days, right? So on here from this one, right? So it clearly pumped up into the level and dropping lower, right? So we will might see might don't see some another break, right? Because we have this break of this low, right? Break of this low in here, retested this level, right? Now the next low is this one, right? So in any case, if the somehow the Monday range will be created, right? We don't know how it will be created. Maybe it could be like this, right? We don't know yet, right? Maybe the Monday range could be created. Then we could be looking for a short, right? But right now, let's look at it this way, right? You know that we have made this mistake on this higher time frame, right? Because we had this monthly range, right, which where the price has came into a 50%, right? And since then it was rebalanced, the price continued lower, right? So if we apply the same thing, that's what I'm recently thinking about, right? So if we apply the same thing and we have the daily range in here, we could be trading on the lower time frame probably, because this is still the order block, right? And if we measure the midpoint of it, right, we will be getting the level somewhere here, right? So if we have this Monday range, we don't know how big it will be right now, right? Anyway, might be like this, maybe like that. We will be on this level, right? So what we would be probably able to trade on the lower time frame, which is 1 hour for the daily, the model number one. And from here, we don't know if we will go up here or down here, but on the lower time frame, maybe there could be also forming then short, right? But I do not want to overcomplicate that. But recently, as we've been also speaking, talking it about, good morning, Alex, in our private group, that the model number one has the higher probability because we can play it against the trend also, right? So yeah, that's just what I wanted to mention that I'm thinking recently about, right? Maybe focusing model number two gives definitely higher probabilities, because even though if you're wrong with the higher time frame bias, you still can trade it, right? So anyway, for the dollar, I would close it that I'm waiting for the simply for the Monday range to be created, right? And preferably, I would like to trade above it, right? So even the better would be if we get a pullback even above this Friday's range, something like that, right? The Monday range could be created, right? Maybe this low taken, right? Price then go higher, right? Or we don't know yet. It also could be played that we can have the Monday range created, right? Digging below this low, right? Tuesday, low of the week, right? Then price going higher Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And the Thursday, we gonna get dumped, right? I'm actually not sure. Is the model one? No, the model one is kind of what I'm writing, what you have seen in my journal. Model one is without a confirmation. It's like a setup from the level, immediately from a level, right? It's possible to trade, but you have to be right with the you have to be right with the market, with the market, with the bias, right? So let's see what's going on in here with the news, right? You see Thursday quite big arm. We have actually Fridays in here, right? That's quite heavy news this week. That's quite heavy news. CPI on the Swiss franc. Look, Powell is speaking tonight, right? So it can be. Yes, actually, Adrian, right. Model 0 is early entry before the change in order flow, right? It's like a, how to call it? It's like an entry from the higher time frame key level without a confirmation, right? So we have a lot of news. And we have an NFP. Right, so once we are here, simply I'm out of this market right now, and we can be just speculating how it can play, right? But definitely I'm not gonna do anything, right? I will wait for the Monday range to form for me, and then maybe some short-term long, right? Or preferably then the long short, right? So let's go euro. Here we can see this on the euro, right? That's what I've been speaking about last week. We had this, right? So the price actually has made this pullback in here, which was actually the pullback into the discount, right? You see it went into the discount. So this big move has been rebalanced, right? Then we moved higher, right? And we had this daily order block where price reacted, and in here was the rejection on this order block, right? So price going higher right now, and where we could go, right? So first target I think would be this midpoint of this order block and then potentially this high, right? Why? Again, let's go monthly, right? And see. We have candle, next month's candle closing above, right? So still the liquidity is here, right? That's where is the liquidity right now. We had one inside candle, right? And price simply didn't reach anything, right? It was just a range pullback, right? And then most likely going higher, right? Obviously, it would be perfect, and I thought that it's going to happen, that the price will reach this gap, right, and then go higher, but it doesn't have to happen, right? Because what I have missed in here is that price actually was also reacting on this higher time frame order block, right, which is this monthly order block, the big one, the one that has digged into this liquidity, right? Price closed above, retested, that it's ready to continue higher. To where? To the next up candles, right? So it would be probably these, right? This is the latest highest candle, right? And these lows here would be even better, right? But you need to target the first resistance, right, which will be just right above it, right? And then if you measure the midpoint of that, of these two, right, it will be here, right? So most likely we going higher on the euro, right? But again, just calm down, right? Don't panic, don't try to catch, you know, this is not where you want to trade, right? I had a mistake. I've been thinking that this weekly range, which was in here, right, this one, that the price will go a little bit lower, right? But it didn't happen, right? So what happens? Nothing, right? Closing decent loss, that's okay, right? Right now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to try to make it back as soon as possible, right? that would be that would be a mistake to trying to enter in here, right? Now we still have this big weekly range in here, right, where this model 1 played, right? But again, it's a weekly range. Model 1 was able to trade, but on the monthly the force is higher, right? So that's something which good morning, Vincent. So that's something which is still right now in my mind, and I want to find, I need to backtest this and put these things together, because I think here is something what has some repeatable pattern, like this high, like we have, like if we have the monthly force, monthly liquidity, and then inside candle, right, and there is possible play on the weekly, right, and then continuation higher, right? You see it's happening. Maybe you don't see it yet, but I'm seeing it, right? So I need to decode this, and it will give me definitely some even better playbook for the more high time frame side. So what's happening in here right now? Let's go daily, right? Let's remove this one because it's invalid in my opinion right now. The price has did this pullback, right? We have this bigger time frame level from where we are coming right now. So on this bigger time frame level, right, new order block has been created, right, and price retested it. I think we will break through this, right, and I think we will go higher, right? So what I can do right now, I can simply wait until the Monday's range will form, right, somehow, and then I would be waiting preferably to trade it below, right, or inside on some 4-hour candles, right, looking for a pullback, right, and forming the candle and trading lower, right? You see how sharply it's going higher, right? It seems like they're not stopping, right? They are not stopping. 4-hour candle closing in 1 hour, right? maybe also because on the 4 hours the latest this candle wasn't traded, then maybe it could form the trade, but you don't want to trade against this trend, right? It's bullish, right? And you don't want to also buy this high in here, right? So let's just for the I will be waiting for the Monday range to form, right? So let's just wait what would happen if you enter this, right? And we will see tomorrow how this is gonna end up, right? If we trade this breakout. Anyway, let's go to another one, which is going to be GBP. And in here, we have it same, right? Let's go monthly. Let me delete. Let's go monthly, right? See, candle closing above. Candle last month also closed above, right? Where is the liquidity then? Here, right? You see, this month, which has happened tonight, it even opened with the gap because closing is here and open is here, right? So it actually opened with the gap. It has made small pullback, right, after it opened, and now going straight up, right, without any big pullback, right? So on the lower time frame, it's like this. I'm not gonna enter in here obviously because it's not our setup, and waiting, right? Currently waiting what's gonna form, right? It can be that we're not gonna have the trade for the whole week, right? It's also a possibility in here, right? On the weekly, what I was trying to trade was this. I had this weekly range, right? Then the next week has traded inside. We had some trade in here, the short, right? And then I was thinking that I will might get a model number 2, right, lower, but it's not happening, right? Why? Because higher time frame, right? So when you have higher time frame force, you get the setup, you can trade model number 1, but don't go for the model number 2. Good morning, great America. Right? So yeah, that would be definitely what you should take from today's streams, and I'm taking it also. And this is something what I need to. This is something what I want to dig a little bit deeper into it and find the sequences and fractals in what time frames we could trade the model number 1 counter trend against the higher time frame, right? Because actually it was here, because it was exactly that mistake when I did on the Bitcoin last week. Last month. Let me show you. Last month, I mean the previous one, right? So it was here. We had. Give me a second. Yes, here. Bitcoin in the uptrend, right? And I was able to trade daily the whole range, right? Which was on the top of the weekly, right? So there was actually the complete one. But then when I tried to trade it on the weekly, then it was lost, right? So I think there has to be some kind of confluences and some kind of, we only see liquidity, yes, Alex, right? So there is some kind of the way how to frame all these things and how to put them together to make sense when you can actually, even in the uptrend, to trade the model number 1 in which time frames, right? Definitely in the uptrend, you're not gonna trade the counter trend from the uptrend on the monthly. You should not trade, in my opinion, the month from monthly. But if you go lower time frame, you have the room to a 50% on the daily or on the weekly, right? And that's something what I want to really backtest and find out, right? All right, my friends. Also, what is there is a pullback on the Bitcoin, right, which was a little bit happening, and the Ethereum also, in my opinion, going lower, right. I need to do complete updates of my chart, so we will have more things tomorrow, right. That's how I would close it today, and I hope. Was a little bit valuable lesson learned from the mistakes, right. So we will see. Here is a COT data, right. So on the USD JPY we can see that the non-commercials reducing, right. Shorts but still very heavy, right. So the liquidity is lower in here, and that's where I think they are most likely going, right. So they will most likely reach this, right. Also the key level, the first key level is below here, right. So waiting for some pullback here. The pound, right, we can see quite bullish, right. They added the longs, right. That's what also was the mistake, right. I have opened the trade on the Friday without having this data, right. So most likely going for these highs, right. And here the Euro USD, right, they reduced the shorts, right, while keeping long still on the upside, and that's what gave us this up move, right. So it's already higher. All right, my friends, I will close it in here for today, and I'll see you